Listen, if you have clicked on this video, you're probably where I was a few years ago, in this place where I was like, carb loading. I know I should probably do it. I thought I eat quite a lot of carbs, so I'm probably all right. But I was so wrong. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna help you in a way that I wish someone would have helped me, or I probably could have helped myself, let's be honest, those few years ago, because it made the most tremendous difference. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm in my kitchen right now. I might go to the studio. I'm not gonna put a lot of production value in this. I'm gonna put a lot of information and value in this. We're gonna talk about the myths surrounding carb loading, and I'm gonna dispel them. We'll talk about what the actual science says. We'll talk about how to actually do it, the protocol of carb loading. Thank you. Oh, this banana is horrible, it's mushy. And we'll talk about the foods to avoid and why, the foods to have and why, and what to do on race morning as well. And we're gonna start right now with the myths surrounding carb loading. So the first myth is around how important are carbs anyway. There is a segment of the running community that believe that you can train your body to go without carbs, run in a fasted state, and you'll be better at using fats instead of carbs on race day. You can do this, but the problem is the science shows that there's actually no improvement in race performance. Sure, your body can use fats instead of carbs and you can train it to do that better, but it doesn't actually translate to anything. And I think we would probably all agree at this point that carbohydrates are the currency the body uses to exercise. So when we talk about carb loading, we are in no point in our training getting rid of carbs or fasting. And that leads us on to the second myth, which is, and this used to be the accepted way that you carb load, is that in the lead up to the race, probably 7 to 3 days out, you completely quit carbohydrates out of your diet, as in none. And the thinking was that when you then get to the 3 days before, you really super load and your body's like, oh, carbs, I don't remember this. Store more carbs. But that doesn't work either, because usually if you're 7 days out from a race, you're still training and you still need those carbohydrates, so the quality of training will go down and you'll be depleting your stores. And the scientific studies now have found that there is no need to deplete. All you need to do is 3 days to 2 days before your race, start the carb load. So what does the science say? I'm actually putting my glasses on to look more scientific for this. So the science says with a good, well-executed carb load, you can improve your race performance, get this, by up to 2 to 4%. Just think about that. That's actually the difference between a 3:02 marathon and a 2:57, or a 4:05 and a 3:58. These are quite big margins. So that's the first thing. There are 2 or 3 day protocols that are suggested, but the science is now leaning towards actually 2 days to 36 hours. So 48 to 36 hours of carb loading. And I'm telling you now, if you just think, I'll eat a little bit more carbohydrates, you will get it wrong. Because one of the latest studies I've seen was when scientists took 2 cohorts. They took a cohort that they basically said carb load on field, do what you think. And then they gave a protocol to the other group and said, right, this is how you carb load, this much for your body weight in these hours in the lead up to the race. Do you know what the difference was in race performance between the people that thought they were carb loading and the people that were carb loading? 11 minutes over a marathon. Come on now. And I've fallen into this trap so many times, just thinking I was carb loading instead of actually carb loading, because it's way more than you think. So what is it? Okay, before I tell you the protocol, I need to tell you where Mary and I fell very short. I'm just gonna openly admit this. Just before Boston a few years ago, we ate carbohydrates during the day thinking, well, we're eating carbs, this is pretty much what a carb load is. In the evening, when we look back, I can't even believe we did this. In the evening, we shared a jacket potato, a baked potato. We had a half each with mixed bean chili. woefully underprepared on a carb load, and we suffered in Boston as a result. Now, here's the actual protocol. You can decide whether you want to do a 3-day or a 2-day load. My advice is, over the span of many marathons, practice what works for you best. We've tried 3-day and we've tried 2-day. For me, 2-day is far better. Feel less bloated, I feel less full, and I feel less like I can't eat another carbohydrate. But essentially, 3-day load, in fact I'm going to move this way so I can put it here. 3-day load is 8 grams of carbohydrates per kilogram of your body weight per day. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my body weight on the screen, and therefore how much carbohydrates I should be looking to eat per day. That's a 3-day load. 2-day load is slightly more aggressive. You're aiming to get a bit more carbohydrates in. That's 10 to 12 grams of carbohydrates per kilogram of body weight per day for 2 days. So I am a 63 kilogram individual. I'm looking at the low end, getting 630 grams of carbohydrates in. That is nearly 13 bagels, if you put it just in bagel terms. That's a lot. So we need to now talk about like what foods should you eat and what foods should you hard avoid. All right, let's get into the foods that we should avoid. First, this is a bag of broccoli, and if I was ever told that I should avoid this as a child, then, well, first of all, I would have been delighted, but as an adult, I love broccoli. But leafy green vegetables, fiber, these types of foods, they slow down gut digestion. And you might think, well, what's wrong with slowing down gut digestion and gut transit? Well, it causes excess gas, it causes bloating, it causes a feeling of heaviness. In terms of feel, it's not what you want from a carb load. You need to feel, we all mentally want to feel light and ready, right? Let's go the other side of that. What about fat? We're talking about fried food, we're talking about creams, cheeses, butters. Avoid those as well. They can do a similar thing, but they actually sometimes speed up gut transit. And because you've got carbs as well in your gut, you want to absorb the energy from the carbs, but because the fats speed up gut transit, you can wave goodbye to some of that absorption. And again, fats can cause stomach upset. So you have, weirdly, full permission not to eat your veggies in a carb load, but you do have to avoid fried food and fatty food. Just go all in on the carbs. So now you know the foods you cannot eat. How about the foods you can eat? I'm going to show you a few. I'm going to put up how many carbohydrates there are in around a normal portion size in each of these. These are the things we eat during our carb load. Obviously, you know I love potatoes. Sweet potatoes here, normal potatoes, not fries or anything like that, but nice unprocessed potato. Spaghetti, as they call it in Thailand. But we have our carbohydrates in the form of pasta as well, and that's another good way of getting them in. Noodles. For breakfast, we have oats. So we have good level of oats with yogurt and fruit. There is also bread. A bagel is 50 grams of carbohydrates. Bread, slightly less because bagels are dense, but these are also a good source. Rice. Everybody knows rice, good source of carbs, easily digested. Here are the secret weapons. This is the way that you get through a carb load without feeling overly bloated. Fluids. Orange juice, great source of carbohydrates, and it's fructose as well rather than glucose, which you need. An energy drink. We use Bix, but you could use Morton, you can use Tailwind. There's lots of ways of getting carbohydrates in liquid form. So we probably have 2 of these per day in the load, maybe some orange juice with breakfast. And I know I've just shown you all of this stuff, I've just shown you all of these foods, and you're like, yeah, but I understand that. What does it look like over the 2 days? Like, how do you actually structure your meals and days? Well, guess what? That's the next bit. So this is the interesting bit. This is what it looks like for us. It doesn't look like this for everybody. Everybody's got their own like nuances, ways of doing it. But I'll run you through what we have during our carb load in the day. First up, breakfast, we make sure that we just have plenty of oats. We have fruit with that to get the fructose in. We have a glass of orange juice for additional carbohydrates. And we'll probably also have a couple of slices of toast with either jam or honey or something sweet. And just breakfast alone there, we've cracked about 220 grams of carbohydrates. And remember, I'm probably aiming for around 700 grams. So I'm doing all right. Mid-morning, we'll look at getting a snack in. Sometimes that's a Morton energy bar, like a carb bar. Sometimes it's a pretzel or a muffin or a bagel, and then we'll probably have another sweet drink. It might be an actual Bix or Morton energy drink, or it might just be another orange juice. And that snack alone is going to take you from 220 to about 310. So I'm nearly halfway. Lunch, we might have a jacket potato, we might have some kind of potato or rice with maybe some apple juice, maybe some orange juice, may even treat ourselves to a little scone. And then you'll get into the 460 gram region, so we've cracked the halfway. It actually doesn't sound too much, does it? Afternoon snack probably is going to be another carb drink. It might be a rice bowl for Mary, it might be a bagel for me, or one of the other energy bars, maybe even some sweets. But you can see I'm getting up to 600 grams, so now I'm just below that 10 grams per kilogram body weight mark, and I've still got dinner to come. So dinner generally will be obviously a carbohydrate focus. Could be pizza, could be rice, could be potato. You know, we will mix it up and we will try and find the things that work for us. Generally, potato works best for me over pasta and over things like pizza, but I'm open to most stuff. And even with that meal and maybe having another sweet drink there, we're looking at suddenly 700 to 800 grams of carbohydrates. Like I've hit the high mark. I've hit the 12 grams per kilogram per day. Oh, and final thing, the morning. I forgot to say that. In the morning, this bit's important. Overnight, your liver glycogen depletes a little bit more than your muscle glycogen. So while it's important to top both up, liver glycogen is predominantly topped up with fructose. So make sure in your morning, fruit juice, bit of fruit, something like that. That's fructose. Glucose is more your carbohydrates in the form that you think of in like bread or oats and stuff like that. So in terms of what you have in the morning, it's important to get glucose and fructose in to make sure both stores are topped up. And here's the thing with all of this. Mary's written a bespoke carb loading guide, and we give it out to all of our members. We pass it on when we're doing races. We make sure everybody is familiar with how to do this, because I genuinely believe you're not going to bring out your best performance without taking control of your nutrition in the lead up to a race and also during the race. That's a separate video which I'll link at the end. This is the lead up stuff, and I wanted this to be packed full of information rather than high production value, because I believe if you're looking to gain 5 or 6 minutes in a performance, this is one area where I think most people, without even realizing it, sabotage their chances. They don't take the carb load seriously enough, and as a result, they underperform, or worse, they hit the wall. And with a good carb load and then good fueling within, the wall is a thing of the past, most of the time. Okay, if you want a ton more information like this, our membership community is always open. It is an amazing place, 150 or more members. We chat daily, we learn daily, and we meet each other at races. And if you're interested in that, then I'll put the link to sign up in the description of this video. As I said, I'm gonna link the fueling within a race video here. It's just gonna go straight here, and another one that YouTube thinks you wanna watch. I'm just getting information out at you because I think it's an important time with really a lot of big races to come. Get subscribed to the channel. Meet us in London. There's a shakeout run. I'll put the details as well in the description, and we'll see you on Sunday. Thanks for watching.